Welcome back, everyone. Today on Sensible SENCO, we are going to be talking about speech and language and some of the results that we had come from the survey. We're also going to give you some updates on what we are going to be up to this week on Thursday. But we'll do that at the end of this YouTube session, so stay tuned for that. It is going to be very interesting.
You managed to avoid the word epic.
I didn't say epic. I'm really sorry, people. It's going to be epic.
What have we been up to this week?
If you've seen my list on the Facebook group from the Friday weekly wins, you will know that I haven't slept for the last 7 days.
He has.
I have, because I've snored.
Yeah.
I was waiting for it to come along.
I haven't slept for the last 7 days.
But we have been really, really busy. Well, let's do all that at the end, shall we? Let's get straight into speech and language, and we'll do all the updates. We'll talk about the planner. We'll talk about Sensible 24, and we'll do all that at the end. Okay.
So when we undertook the survey this year, one of the questions was requested by Speech and Language Link, who are one of our very popular sponsors of the group. And we love the support that they give us. And interestingly enough, in an entirely different conversation, somebody had asked for some speech and language articles that they could use. And I signposted them to one of the ones that Speech and Language Link had written on our behalf for the magazine, and they were so impressed with it, they've actually signed up for a membership of the website.
That is very impressive.
It was pretty impressive.
I'm going to add to this because I've signposted Speech and Language Link because they do lots of really good blogs.
Yeah.
And they're dedicated to kind of supporting everybody, the same as what we are. And this isn't a big post for Speech and Language Link, so Speech and Language Link, please, don't thank me for any of this. But the one that I saw was the voice one that came up, and it was talking about how you're supposed to speak and your elocution.
Execution.
Execution. Yeah, I can't say it. But it got me thinking back to when I was a child and how my voice, which is very
pitchy,
spiky as a profile, and how that didn't really help me kind of come across the right way when I first met people.
I have quite a high-pitched voice, but I learned through teaching to drop my voice, and actually raising my voice. When I start to shout, I hear it go back into those high notes again. I have to remember that actually shouting doesn't do me any good. I'm better to lower my voice and go quieter. And it has far more of an impact.
You really like to lower your voice, don't you?
I can't really lower my voice. I do like Jeff Castellucci and Avi Kaplan. Yeah, sorry. That wasn't the question
that they asked, but I thought I'd bring that up.
Fair enough. So as part of our survey, they just asked a general speech and language question about the support that people can access and what the barriers are to supporting speech and language in school. And it was really interesting to analyse the results. So all of the survey results, we pull them back. We don't normally share them with a massive audience. We share them with you guys. But for this particular question, because Speech and Language Link had asked for it, I sat and wrote them quite a nice report.
You did sit and write them a nice report. We didn't share any of the actual data with them. It was just a report that we sent to them.
Yeah, and it was numbers. And they were so impressed with it, they've actually published the report.
They did. They published their own version of the report, which was on their LinkedIn and probably somewhere else on their blog sites.
It's lurking everywhere, I think. So the things that came out of it, we had got... interestingly, it wasn't timed exploration of speech and language resources that was an issue. And I thought that was interesting, because to me, as a SENCO, one of the things I struggle with the most is knowing what I could use to support. And that requires me to have time to go and explore them. And sometimes even having that ability to get a hold of something for a couple of weeks to test, is it the right thing for this child? That didn't come out as one of the biggest issues.
Okay, so what was one of the biggest issues?
Resources and funding.
Funding. There's a surprise, isn't it? Hey.
Yeah. So access to resources and funding. So it wasn't necessarily the... packages, it was the resource to support within a lesson.
So we're talking TAs again?
Not always.
Okay.
So, for example, they may be talking about... resources can be split into two camps. Your resources for the intervention, as in I've identified this need, I need this resource to support it. And then your resources that support your normal curriculum delivery. And it wasn't the resources for the intervention that were coming up as the issue. It was resources to support the curriculum delivery. So in other words, what they could use to support that speech and language and follow it up within their actual lessons. So whether that was visual prompts, whether it was using something like widget to widgetize the content, whether it was scaffolding, any of those things, that's what the schools were struggling with.
Okay.
Yeah, and then of course funding to actually provide some of those things, which was a bit of a strange one because lots of those things you would buy it and it's actually got quite a wide remit. So something like widget, yes, okay, there's an expense attached to it, but you can use it in every single lesson across the whole of your curriculum with any year group and with any child. So actually it works out as pennies.
It does. And when you break it down into that, which what Provision Map does, so it breaks it down into a cost per child. When you start doing that and you actually see what the costs are, you think, wow, it would cost me like 7 times this or 10 times this just to stick a TA in with whatever it is.
Or even just
we're going to name drop. We're name dropping kind of constantly at the moment, aren't we? So the conversation with Text Help was the same thing. I think you've done something for them along the same line.
Yeah, it's an expensive cost, but that actually can last the child for 5 years across every single subject. If you put a TA next to that child across every single subject for 5 years, it's a hell of a lot more than about 220 quid or whatever it is to purchase one of those things. Yeah, so it's interesting. And I always think of it in time as well. So to me, it's not necessary. Funding isn't always about money. It's about time, because the time to produce a resource can be horrendous.
Oh, yeah.
Which is why people like things like Twinkle and Test for Teachers and all of those.
Even our website.
Or even our website, yeah, because you can go download something. But I think the problem with that is it de-skills everybody to a certain extent. Because then who's going to create the next wave of these resources?
Us.
Us, yeah.
Us.
Or, not just de-skilling them though, but it also, that content isn't always specific to that child. So having to tailor it and tweak it for that individual. And people will go, well, I ran out of time, so I just gave them all the same one. And then you might as well have just given them the same sheet as you gave the rest of the class anyway.
Yeah, but that's not kind of adaptive teaching, and it's not scaffolding, and it's not any of that kind of stuff, is it? So,
no.
You just... Oh, yeah, here you go. Have a piece of paper, and that will do you. That doesn't work. It doesn't work for every child. It shouldn't be done in the classroom, really, unless you're desperate. Yeah,
and there is always situations where we have to resort to what we've got available. So resources and funding came out top on that. It was nearly 30% of the respondents said that was an issue. Okay. The next one was training and staff development. And I think the two of those kind of link together there, because I don't think they actually meant training and staff development for interventions. They meant training and staff development so that they can meet the needs within the classroom.
Okay, yeah.
So whether that's the TA to be able to support the student, or whether it's the teacher to be able to scaffold it appropriately for the student or use the right language, especially those things like giving people instructions in the sequence you want them to undertake them.
I think that's right as well, and that comes back to the voice piece that I saw, because it was Caroline, I think, that said underneath it that teachers should know more about voice and be trained in how to use the voice and how to kind of teach that piece there. So yeah, it does come into that, and it's not part of what you're normally trained.
Yeah, no, it's definitely not part of what you're normally trained. I remember having a session way back in my training, and I'm going back to the 1990s, where they
How old are you again?
Very. Where they did actually talk about a teacher's voice and how you shouldn't strain your voice. And that was back in the 1990s, we're having that conversation, and we're still having the same conversation today, I think. Lots of teachers who lose their voices and all that stuff. But that's kind of off tangent slightly.
It is, but it's still part of speech and language. So.
Oh, it's absolutely still part of speech and language. But talking of that sequencing of instructions, I heard you moaning at Zed this morning for the dog. Now, we have an alarm that goes off in the morning, and it says, time to get up, feed the dog, and then make your breakfast.
It very purposefully says, and then make
It
your
very
breakfast.
purposefully does.
So
And what does he do
what
every
did he do?
flipping morning?
Well, the first thing he does is...
Get up.
No, he doesn't do that, first of all. So the first thing is the little one kind of wakes up and goes, Zed, it's time to wake up. Wake up time. Wake up. And then he wakes his 13-year-old brother up. And then they both go downstairs, they ploddle downstairs, and then Zed makes the breakfast for the little one. And he should, at this point, sort the dog out.
Yeah.
But he doesn't.
Let the dog out for a wee.
But because the dog is now not in the same place as he was before, because we had to move him, Zed's forgetting to do the dog. So it's probably our fault for moving the dog around. Poor dog.
But if it's that whole sequencing, it gives it to him in a sequence and tells him what order to do it in, and still he manages to not do it in that order.
I don't know. It's just brain fuzz, I think it is at that age. That's what I'm calling it.
Brain fuzz.
Brain fuzz.
Not brain fog.
No, not brain fog. That's something different.
Okay, so the next two things that came up on the list were support and collaboration, the opportunities for support and collaboration, and access to speech and language therapy itself. And they were kind of equal. They were around about 19% of respondents said that they were issues. So I think, access to speech and language therapy support. My latter half of my career, I worked in secondary. You never saw a speech and language therapist. As soon as they left primary school, they'd get that lovely report that said, if you notice any issues within the first 6 weeks of them attending secondary school, please contact us and we will pick this referral up. After that, you'll have to make a new referral. And then you discover they don't take new referrals once they're in secondary.
Dentists.
Don't go to the dentist. So that really used to frustrate me, really used to frustrate me. And I am talking NHS speech and language there. I think private therapy is slightly different because they're getting paid for it. So they're a bit more willing to keep them on a little bit longer. So there's that issue. But I also think there's an issue within primary schools for speech and language therapy because there are not enough speech and language therapists. We know that I saw Anne Harrod's LinkedIn post the other day. She cannot take on any more customers because she's up to her eyeballs and is still trying to recruit another member for her team.
That's with her expanding by another 4 members. She still hasn't got enough capacity to be able to carry on with the work that she's got.
Absolutely. So, that human speech and language therapist, they're really hard to get hold of, which is where your packages like Speech and Language Link come in, but actually you then need a member of staff who is comfortable using it. So I know I belong to a very large teaching assistant group, and I was on there the other day and somebody had put on it, we're about to start using Language Link, which is one of their products. I've been given a 20-minute slot each week. Can somebody tell me how to break it down into that? And I kind of read it and thought, those sessions are longer than 20 minutes and once a week is not going to have an impact. So it's like, go back to it because your training's there, your information's there. Go and look, there is research behind the recommendation as to why they are saying however long it is, whether it's 3 1-hour sessions a week or whether it's 3 20-minute sessions or 10 5-minute sessions. It doesn't really matter.
Sessions.
I'm sure there are hour sessions, but I think it depends which age group you're working with. But the whole point is, any product that you buy, there should be a bit of research behind it that gives that recommendation. And it is a recommendation, don't get me wrong. So Lexia, which I can use as an example, has a recommendation on it for 3 20-minute sessions. I had my students for 2 1-hour lessons. That didn't work for me. So we used to do 2 30-minute sessions and the other 30 minutes of it, we actually did paper-based stuff to try and follow it up. We had fantastic results on the screen. What we didn't have was fantastic results transferring into the classroom. So we had to do that paper follow-up. But there was research that sat behind it that says this is the recommended amount of time. And I think that is where that research-based evidence, all of that evidence-based research, whichever way around those words go, that's where that comes in. But if you discover that it works a particular way in your school, that's absolutely fine, as long as you can show that has the greatest impact for your students.
Yeah, and that's what it's about, isn't it? You'd have to show the impact of whatever you're doing, and that comes under the Ofsted piece as well.
So there's that access to speech language therapy, as in a therapist, a human, but then also people need to use the online resources and train up their staff for it to be able to use it appropriately and give them the time to get used to it. So, I've got access to most programs that are out there, to be fair, where I can go in and I have the admin level access and I can have a look at it and I can have a play with the system. And I don't have a lot of time for doing that, but one of the first things I do is go and read the instructions. He never reads instructions.
You don't need instructions for what?
I do, because actually you get quite a lot from the instructions. It tells you what you should be doing and why you are doing it, because otherwise you'll go diving straight in and then you'll get halfway through the programme and discover that, oh, actually I should have done this.
Oh yeah, it's a bit like our business model, to be honest. We should have done this and we should have done that. And now we're trying to kind of piece it all back together. And it's going okay now that we're kind of getting there slowly, very slowly.
So the other one that sat on a parallel with that was support and collaboration. So it's knowing that you're doing the right thing for students, because a lot of us are fighting in the dark. A lot of us are having to put things in place. We're sourcing those external resources, our Twinkles or whatever it is, and we're putting it in place, but is it the right thing? And being able to ask somebody, is this the right thing we're doing? Where's my support and collaboration within this to go? Is this the right thing for this child? And then time and exploration, like I say, was the one that didn't come up quite so much in there. There was only about 8-9% of the responses.
You mean SENCOs have got loads and loads of time to go and find... SENCOs, why didn't you say more time?
No, you see, I don't think it was that. I think it was time and exploration came out low, because it's that one, you don't know what you don't know. So they don't know there's other things out there and available. So they wouldn't know that they need the time to go and explore those.
Okay, so they haven't got the time to kind of look into it in the first place, so they don't bother looking into it because they don't know it's there. So
they'll go with what they know.
Yeah.
And I think that's
what's recommended.
Or what's recommended, or what they've heard of before, or what's written in a piece of stone. I think that's why that one came out lower than the others. I don't think it's necessarily true. I think they do need more time and opportunities to explore what's available, but actually they didn't know there was other things there.
Yeah.
And I think at secondary, see, primary schools, I think, are pretty good at speech and language, if I'm perfectly honest, and certainly if you've got an infant school in there and screening that came in and all the rest of it. But at secondary, I think secondary SENCOs are woefully lacking in speech and language knowledge. And I'm not trying to dismiss any secondary SENCO. I've been one, but it's only over the last few years where I've kind of sat back and thought, oh, actually, that kid that I had back in 2004, maybe their issue was because of this. It's certainly more things that have come to light. And there is more now available for secondary. I think previously, a bit like the speech and language, NHS speech and language therapists, we all used to go, oh, well, they've left primary now. If they haven't solved that speech and language issue by the end of primary, they're not going to. We'll just carry on.
Yeah, that does seem a bit weird with all the changes that go into everybody when they kind of go into the secondary area. And, the body changes, everything else changes, and then we're going, well,
And they become Kevins and grunt.
Oh, they do become Kevins. And then they can't open their mouth when they talk like this.
Oh, talk at the back of the throat.
God. Yeah, the 13-year-old is driving us nuts at the moment, as you might be able to tell. I'm also going to say that Abigail will be doing a review of Speech and Language Link that we will do as a YouTube video at some point as well.
So I've already reviewed part of it. I've actually reviewed their product for them, but they also have some CPD courses and some training courses, so two are slightly different, which I have got access to. I just need to find some time to actually study them to be able to write a review. So
they'll appear on the YouTube channel next to the B Squared ones and a few other ones that we've done in the past. Yeah. But I won't be on those, so that's great.
I do recommend it though, because there aren't many programs where I kind of sit there with my jaw going, oh, wow, this is brilliant. I wish I'd had this.
I think it just hits so many different levels, and the secondary part of it is definitely valuable.
Oh, gosh, yeah.
Because there doesn't seem to be anything else out there as well.
I don't think there is very much out there for secondary. I know there's the Talk Boost books and those Talk About. They're out there, but that still requires an adult who understands speech and language to be able to pick the right bits out to be able to deliver them, whereas this is in the package, it's there for you. I was really, really impressed with that.
Talk About. Is that the one I've got on the website at the moment for a massive discount for members?
Yes.
Oh, okay. So just
The one that's kind of got like a wheel on
it's
the
got a
front
big
of it.
wheel and a boy in the
It's
middle of it.
usually bright red, the first one.
I think the yellow. I've got a yellow
Yes,
one.
there's
on
a
there.
yellow one as well,
Yeah,
and a
there's-
green one, and a blue one.
Yeah, so I think we've got them on the website at discounted at the moment for instead of 46 quid. I think they're about 37, something like that. So there's a huge discount on them if you're a member of the website. Member, not
Member.
official member.
Official,
We're going to call them official members
as
now.
opposed to an unofficial member.
Opposed to unofficial members. Yeah, there's the free cheap people, and then there are the people that want to support us a bit more, that pay £5 a month or £75 a year.
It's an interesting report to read, and I did actually do my research. I actually went and found some references to go with it as well.
Ooh, look at you go with your master's degree.
I wish I was actually doing it on the results of the survey. That would make my life easier.
Anyway, so we just want to talk then a bit more about Sensible 24 and where we're up to with Sensible 24. Sensible 24 at the moment, we have well over halfway now.
Two-thirds.
We're two-thirds of the way. I think
of tickets.
we've only got a few tickets left, to be honest, for it before we reach the capacity that we wanted, which is great. Thank you very much.
Bigger than that, though, it's actually the date is more of an issue.
Actually, we've only got a week and a half left to get those orders in, although...
No, we've only got a week and a half because I need to do the dietary requirements.
Yes. And if you have received an email by me about dietary requirements, thank you for getting that back to me. I've already had lots of them back.
So, unlike many conferences where it is, I suppose, open catering, we are using a hotel for a venue. So they do need to know how many gluten-free, how many dairy-free, how many fish-free,
Food-free.
How many food-free? Who on earth wants food-free?
Yeah, food-free.
How many of each they've got to prepare for those meals. And we were going to go for a sit-down meal. But we're going to go for a finger buffet.
So you need to go into and talk to the exhibitors, and there's not going to be that much time to be able to do that. So we thought you can walk around with your food and have that kind of conversation. You can also talk to the speakers at the same time and whoever else is there.
And also because we reduced the cost of the tickets, it's kind of helped us out a little bit.
It makes a bit more sense. So that's there. Sensible 24 is going ahead on the 9th of Feb. I nearly said Jan then. Don't want to say Jan because it's already gone past. But the most important news that you need now is the planner is available.
For pre-order.
For pre-order, yeah. The planner is available for pre-order. Our 2024-25 planner is now available for pre-order at the price of £30. Now, it is hard-backed, it's spiral-bound, and it has a little pocket in it that will cover your A4 notes.
Has no pages in it at the moment, so I haven't written them yet.
You're not meant to say things like that. We hope to get a copy ready for Sensible 24, so you will be able to see it there if you are popping along, so you can flick through it.
Yeah, so we will have the planner available for that. What I was going to say, but it's not £30 plus postage for some people, is it?
No. If you are an annual member and you have joined the annual membership thing since... I think it's July I rolled it back to, then you will have a free planner and just pay for the postage as part of your annual membership. That also goes for anybody new who is an annual member who signs up now. If you want to sign up for it, you can do. And you will also get a free planner while stocks last. I need to add that into there.
Abigail's cringing slightly because it isn't a free planner. Can we just explain this? So membership of the website is how much per month? Membership
of the website is £5 a month.
But if you go for an annual membership, how much is it per year?
£75 a year. Okay.
12 times 5 is only 60. So why is it 75?
Because the planner, we've put £15 in for the planner. So it does cost you £15, but you're saving £15 basically.
Yeah.
So it gives you a half price planner. Maybe I should say half price planner.
A half price planner.
Does that sound better? So if you'd like to put in the comments below whether you want me to say half price planner or you want me to say free planner, because it's not really free, but it is free.
It's included. Your planner is included.
Maybe that's what it needs to be. It needs to be a package price. That's what I need to put on the website. Annual package membership price. Thank you very much, Abigail, for making me change it once again and really annoying you. Abigail hates it when I change all the names for everything. One day we'll actually have the right names in the right places at the right times, and we won't change it. Platinum, silver, gold, bronze, or now member, official member. Whatever you want to be called.
Orange.
Orange.
I want to be an orange.
inserts orange photo on top of Abigail's head.
I don't even like oranges.
So the planner is available, and we'll put a review of the planner onto the YouTube as well. The old one is still up on the webpage.
It will be similar.
It will be very similar. And we're going to try to do a members-only area that will add to your login with the planner as well. So we'll make it a bit easier than the last one was, because the last one was a bit of a pain. Disaster.
We tried.
We're improving all the time. That's all we have to say. You know, no one's perfect to start with. If everybody was perfect to start with, it'd be like, whoa, what's this?
I'm a SENCO and a science teacher. I am not a computer programmer, I'm afraid.
Yep, and I am just a truck driver that knows a bit about technology and can figure things out.
You did a BTEC in IT.
I failed my BTEC in IT because I was too interested in ladies at the time. It was when I was 19, so 19, 20. So, yeah, I only lasted a year on that. I failed my business one as well. Hey. Oh, I forgot! Oh my God! The most important thing! Even more important than the planner! Did I look excited then? That was my excited
Sensible 24.
And Sensible 24! On Thursday, this week, as in tomorrow,
The 18th.
the 18th of January, we are at Amazon HQ. Yes, I have to wear a suit. Yes, imagine me in a suit. Woo! Yes, very good. And we are there to support Phonetti when they are doing their Read Aloud Challenge award ceremony. And we're
presenting an award.
So I'm just about to say, I was there. We're supporting them because we're presenting the award. Oh my God, I get to go up on stage and I get to have talking with people. I am going to be so hyper.
He's not doing it. I'm doing it.
I am really sorry if you are the school that sits on our table as well, because I am going to bounce like a tigger all the way through it, because I am at Amazon and we will take photos because I'm allowed to take photos without signing an NDA, so expect lots of really random photos.
So just to clarify that, he's not a professional photographer, so apparently we don't have to sign the NDA. However, if he was a professional photographer, we'd have to sign an NDA to be able to take photos.
But the best thing is, I've got a professional photographer's camera and I've done a professional photographer's course, so while I'm not actually in that position, I can still take professional photos. It's great.
It's brilliant. Anyway, yes, so we're there on Thursday.
Absolutely excited for that one there. The problem will be, though, that we have to get up at 6 a.m, 5 a.m, and we are not back until about midnight because we're travelling down to London for it.
Our first train leaves at 21 minutes past 6 in the morning.
So if you do send me an email on that day, do not expect me to reply straight away like I normally do.
Or if you do, expect something that doesn't make any sense. Actually, the Friday will probably be the same.
Yeah, I don't know what we're doing on the Friday.
Sleeping.
Friday's normally... Oh, God.
90, yeah.
Yeah, Friday. I need to catch up with the blog posts.
Brilliant. When's our next webinar? Because we haven't got one for a few weeks.
Our next webinar is on the 1st of February, not the 2nd of February. The 1st of February, and it was with the NAHT, where they will be talking about... I put how to protect yourself as a SENCO because I think that's a better conversation than what the union can do for you as a SENCO. So I don't know whether I'm leading that one or Abigail's going to be leading that one as the ex-union rep. I think I could probably talk it through quite easily, but maybe we'll double team with the NAHT, and it's Rob Williams that's coming down to them, and he's like,
Robbie Williams.
Yeah, got Rob Williams, not Robbie Williams. Yeah, there's no hip shaking going on, so you can stop that. So please do sign up for that. That is on our website, events.sensiblesenco.org.uk, and then you'll be able to see all of the ones there. We've also signed up Sing to do a one on memory and learning. He is going to come along. He's wrote a book which was called
Strengthening the Student Toolbox.
There you go. Dunlowski's. And he'll be coming along there. I think that's booked in now onto the website. And I've got another one with Victoria Bagnall, actually, executive functioning. She's going to be talking about that on the website as well. And that is it for us today. Thank you very much for watching, and we hope to see you next week. Goodbye.
Bye-bye. And they've promised me a really good finger buffet.
And we're going for the finger buffet because you need to go round to the exhibitors.
Speech and language.
Outtake. That's an outtake.
That's an exhibitionist.
So no, there's no exhibitionists there except me. And you've put me off completely to what I was going to say.
Nanu?
No, that's the other Robin. That's Robin Williams. Oh, man. If we do go nanu in the middle of that, I think people will just wet themselves. Nearly.
Nanu.
Nanu. That was a big egg, wasn't it, that came down? If I remember rightly, it came along in an egg.